Alright guys, in today's video we have more PlayStation news to go over and talk about. We have a lot of different topics we're going to be covering in this video, so before we get into it, if you do enjoy videos like this, or by the end of it you found this video informative, please consider leaving it a like. It helps it out tremendously, and if you are new to the channel, consider hitting the subscribe button as well. The first topic we're talking about pertains to the new PlayStation 5 model once again. It seems that Digital Foundry did a collaboration with Gamers Nexus, and I know you guys are gonna want to hear about the results. So this is an article coming from PlayStation Lifestyle, and the title reads, "After very extensive testing, new PS5 model found to be basically identical to the old, no major differences in performance or cooling." So it says here, YouTuber Austin Evans caused a bit of a kerfluffle when he declared the new model of the PS5 with a distinctly smaller heatsink to be worse than the original launch model. Later testing rapidly debunked these claims, revealing performance to be unchanged, and many believing that the original massive heatsink was simply over-engineered, an observation Evans himself made before declaring the new one worse. Additional testing on the temperature of the console actually found the new one to potentially run cooler on the components themselves. The hotter air Evans measured at the exhaust seemed to be from a more efficient cooling system expelling hot air and cooling the console. Gamers Nexus and Digital Foundry got together to do some rather extensive and definitive testing on both the cooling and the performance of the revised PS5 console to finally put the rumors about it to rest. Their conclusion: there are basically no differences between the consoles, at least not any that are worth pursuing one console over the other. At the beginning of Gaming Nexus's 37-minute video, Editor-in-Chief Steve Burke says, "We have so much data that we're not going to be able to fit it all in one video," highlighting just how much testing they did to obtain in-depth thermal data for the effectiveness of the heat sinks on both models. While testing did find some differences, the determination was that these are well within an acceptable margin of error based on multiple variables and don't ultimately matter to the end user. One of these differences was accounted for based on the different fans that Sony has used in the PS5 consoles. Additionally, Digital Foundry finds that the new revised PS5 console runs virtually identically to the old one. The original video from Austin Evans had summarized that less efficient cooling could impact performance, but because the PS5 doesn't run like PCs with power variances, these limits set in place allow the console to maintain consistency despite changes to the cooling. They tested this by placing the revised PS5 inside a confined TV cabinet for 2 hours running controls photo mode, which uncaps the frame rate, and then set about testing, still finding no differences in the various benchmarks. Operationally, it's the same machine, says Digital Foundry's Richard Ledbetter. And so there we have it. If you end up picking up the newly revised PlayStation 5 model, you're not going to have to worry about it being worse than the original PlayStation 5 model. They're essentially identical, and you're not going to notice any differences, and there is ultimately nothing to worry about and nothing to be concerned about. One thing that is worth noting is that Gamers Nexus said that one thing you want to be doing with your PS5 is making sure it doesn't get too dusty. I actually talked about this in a previous episode of my podcast, where I encouraged anybody who does own a PS5 to make sure you're maintaining it and taking care of it. I think that's kind of obvious, but there is also a dust catcher with the PlayStation 5. So if you take off one of these side plates, which is very easy to do, you can actually manually remove the dust from the dust catcher. It's extremely convenient, and so I highly recommend everybody do that. But we're going to move on to the next topic, which is one that I'm a little bit late to, but we really have to take a moment here to cover this. So many of you may remember the PlayStation promo that we saw at the beginning of the September PlayStation Showcase. It turns out that Sony may have been hinting at a couple of games that may be announced in the future, or teasing some games that we may be seeing revealed sometime in the future. So this is reading from WCCF Tech, and it says PlayStation promo contains teases for Resident Evil 4, Sly Cooper, Silent Hill, and more. So I'm going to read you a list of games that appeared in this promo trailer. We have the Hogwarts Legacy logo, the infamous Karma symbol, Tekken, Dragon Quest Slime, a rough outline of what appears to be a Castlevania sprite, Sonic Ring, multiple Final Fantasy games, including Final Fantasy VII Remake, Pac-Man, a Sly Cooper logo, Alan Wake, Street Fighter, Crash Bandicoot, Deathloop, Resident Evil 4, Helldivers, Ace Combat, and Silent Hill 2. There's a note next to Silent Hill 2 here that says this is probably the sneakiest reference of them all. There's a little radio on the guard's desk, and it sure does look like the radio from Silent Hill 2, doesn't it? So obviously this has led to a lot of speculation that Sony is trying to hint at some games that are currently in development and will be revealed at some point. And it's hard to argue that when you look at what's, being listed here. You look at the infamous karma symbol. There have been rumors that apparently there is a new Infamous game in development. We don't know if that's true or not, but that's what we've been hearing. They have the Castlevania sprite. Obviously, people are hoping for a Castlevania game, maybe in partnership with Sony. You see Sly Cooper. Sly Cooper's another big one. We've been hearing rumors that apparently there's another Sly Cooper game in development, so maybe that's what Sony's teasing. You see Resident Evil 4. We know that Resident Evil 4 Remake is a thing that's in development, and there's been some talk, it's just pure speculation, that maybe Sony is going to try to lock that down as a timed exclusive. Who knows if anything like that will happen, but nonetheless, they are teasing Resident Evil 4. There's been talks of a Helldivers 2. It seems that they could potentially be teasing that. And then, you look at Silent Hill, and of course, that seems like a huge tease. There's been so much conversation, so many rumors surrounding Silent Hill. I'm trying my best not to talk about it much anymore because it seems to just always lead to dead ends, and it just doesn't seem worth it. But it's hard not to point something like this out when it's clearly placed there to kind of either be a nod, and that could very well just be all this is. This is just Sony's way of kind of, giving a little nod to all these games. But nonetheless, I saw some of you mentioning this, and I wanted to be sure to cover it. So moving on to the next topic, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this one, but I did find it very interesting when I came across it, and so we're reading from PlayStation Universe. The title says, new Watch Dogs Legion PS5 update is over 10 times smaller than the Xbox Series X version. Ubisoft pushed out a new Watch Dogs Legion PS5 update for you to grab, and the best bit isn't what's included, but rather the file size. The Watch Dogs Legion update 1.190 as weighs in at apparently 3.2 gigabytes on the PS5, while on the Xbox Series X, it's weighing in at around 40.2 gigabytes. That's obviously a huge difference and a massive advantage for those of you playing on Sony's latest home console. Now, I looked into this a little bit, and it seems the reason for this is because when you get this patch on the Xbox Series X, it requires you to re-download the entire game, which is obviously a major inconvenience. This was the same way it was done on the PlayStation 4, and this is one of the advantages with the PlayStation 5, is you don't have to do this anymore, and it's great. And so I thought that I would highlight this because it is convenient, right? We hear about all of the different features that these consoles offer, some advantages that each console offers, and to me, this is a pretty significant one where, hey, I'm going to be playing a game and I have to install a new update. There's a huge difference between waiting for a 3.2 gigabyte install and download versus waiting for, 40.2 gigabytes. That's a huge difference. So yeah, it is a significant advantage, I think, that the PS5 has. I've seen that some Xbox fans are hoping that Microsoft will do something about this and kind of fix that. It's hard to say if they will, but yeah, definitely something interesting that caught my eye there. But moving on to the next topic, we're talking about the latest PlayStation Studio acquisition, Firesprite, because apparently they are expanding with another 40 available positions to add to the 250 person strong studio. So it seems like they're trying to grow their studio to be up to around 300 employees, which is massive. That is absolutely huge in terms of studio size. So when Sony announced Firesprite Studios would be joining the first-party family in the latest addition to PlayStation Studios, they were already adding a studio with a very large headcount, bigger even than some of their studios combined. And now it looks like Firesprite is set to grow even more. Firesprite employed approximately 250 people before the Sony acquisition, and barring news of any massive layoffs or shuffling, they're about to grow to be practically 300 developers strong with the new 40 positions they're currently hiring for. And I did notice this on social media. I recently followed Firesprite, and it just seems like they are putting these job listings out here and these job openings, and they're looking to rapidly grow the studio, and that's a good sign. They're already working on 2 massive projects apparently. Maybe they're working on even more than that, and this is just kind of what we're seeing with a lot of Sony studios. They're all growing. They're all trying to become bigger studios to manage either bigger projects or more projects at one time. So very interesting. But continuing to talk about Firesprite, I also came across another interesting article. This comes from Push Square, where the title reads, "New Sony team Firesprite continues hiring for dark narrative adventure." And they're pointing out that this is the first time that they are officially confirming that this is one of the titles they're working on. So in a LinkedIn post made just yesterday, the developer advertised a development director position to help with all aspects of planning and delivery on a dark narrative adventure with genre-defining goals. The team has been sharing open positions on the website for a while now, but this is the first time it has mentioned the project since the Sony buyout. The post even mentions being a PlayStation studio, therefore it seems fairly safe to assume this mysterious title will indeed come to fruition on PS5. So I gotta tell you guys, I am very intrigued about Firesprite and just the whole situation surrounding the studio acquisition, because it seemingly came out of nowhere. I know that there's a history there. I know that there's a lot of former Sony Liverpool devs and whatnot, but I just can't help but shake this feeling that Sony saw what these guys were working on and they're like, we need you to be part of PlayStation Studios. They clearly have the utmost confidence in them, which is, again, very interesting, especially the way they're talking about this title, a dark narrative adventure, and they're talking about, you know, genre-defining goals. That's ambition if I ever heard it. So it's gonna be interesting to see what these guys end up producing. I have no clue when we're gonna see the first glimpse of what this game is or any of the games that they're working on, but I'm liking what I'm hearing so far. We're going to move right along to the next topic, though, which is focusing on Naughty Dog. I came across another article that I wanted to be sure to share with you guys, and the title reads from PlayStation Universe, "Naughty Dog is back in the motion capture studio, definitely doing something." So it says here, Naughty Dog, of course, never stopped creating once The Last of Us Part 2 launched, but there's still an air of mystery around what exactly they're working on, and while we still don't have the exact answers, a tweet from one of the developers today indicates they're in the motion capture studio definitely doing something. The tweet in question comes from Marianne Hayden, senior cinematic animator at Naughty Dog, posting a picture with Mark Musashi and another actor. What's curious and indicative of this being work on The Last of Us remake or Factions, however, is the fact that Mark Musashi is a stunt actor who's done work for Naughty Dog games since the original release of The Last of Us. So we're not learning anything too significant here. We're essentially just learning that Naughty Dog is back in the motion capture studio, and it does seem fairly obvious that it has something to do with The Last of Us. And I think that these are two very good guesses. I think that if they're doing mocap work, it's likely for this Last of Us remake that is allegedly in development, which I know a lot of people are not happy about, but apparently it's a thing. It could also be for the standalone Last of Us multiplayer game. And so, yeah, definitely something interesting. I guess we'll just still have to remain patient and wait to hear, what Naughty Dog is doing next, or wait for them to reveal it in full. But continuing to talk about Naughty Dog, we have new information on the Last of Us HBO series. It says here, once again, reading from PlayStation Universe, the Last of Us HBO series looks set to feature Neil Druckmann as one of its directors. Naughty Dog's Neil Druckmann looks set to step into the director's chair for at least one episode of HBO's The Last of Us series. That's at least according to a production list posted on the Directors Guild website, which seemingly confirms that Druckmann is one of 5 directors attached to HBO's adaptation. So again, nothing major, but it is interesting to hear that Neil Druckmann is going to direct an episode. I wonder which episode he's going to direct, and I wonder how it's going to turn out. I mean, it just makes sense that he does at least one. in general, I'm just curious to see how this Last of Us HBO series pans out. It seems there's a lot going into it. Sony is taking it very seriously and they're putting a lot of money into it. And I hope it turns out good. I love The Last of Us. The first game in particular is really stand out to me. And the fact that this series is going to be focusing on Joel and Ellie's journey, I'm definitely interested in seeing it. So I hope it works out. And so, yeah, apparently Neil is going to be directing one of these episodes. But keeping in line with, PlayStation and their involvement in trying to create these live action movies or TV series for their games, the live action Twisted Metal series gets its first star. Anthony Mackie is cast as John Doe and will also executive produce. So this is a pretty significant thing here. The live action Twisted Metal series now has its first star attached. Anthony Mackie will be playing series lead John Doe, a driver tasked with getting a package across the post-apocalyptic wasteland for an opportunity at a better life. He will also act as executive producer on the project. Mackie is known for his role as Sam Wilson/Falcon in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and more recently stepping up as Captain America following the Disney Plus The Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. So this is a pretty significant get for this Twisted Metal TV series. Again, it's something that Sony is taking pretty seriously. The big question I think everybody has is, okay, Sony's very serious about this Twisted Metal series, trying to bring on some, talent here. Are we going to get a new game? We've heard multiple rumors from multiple sources that a new Twisted Metal game is in development and it was greenlit. It makes a lot of sense that Sony would want to do that. If they're going to release a TV series and they're going to take it this seriously and put this much into it, it only makes sense that you want to release a game alongside it. That would also explain why maybe they're remaking The Last of Us. They want to kind of coincide that with the TV show as well. There you go. I don't know how this TV series is going to turn out. I don't really know how Twisted Metal translates into a TV series, but we'll have to see. You can let me know what you think of that. Moving on to the next topic, it's focusing on Gran Turismo 7 once again. We have more information about this upcoming PlayStation exclusive. Gran Turismo 7 developer Polyphony Digital has revealed that ray tracing will be featured in the PS5 version of the upcoming racer, but it will only be implemented in replays. This was once again speaking with Game Watch. Kazunori Yamauchi, the head of Polyphony Digital and the brains behind the Gran Turismo series, confirmed that ray tracing will have its limits in GT7. For the time being, you can choose ray tracing in the replay, and then you can see the stage demo and the picture with ray tracing applied in the garage. While this may come as a disappointment for those who want all the bells and whistles for the PS5 version of the game, ray tracing would put a big strain on the frame rate, something which is obviously very important for a racer. As such, it means keeping things at a silky smooth 60 FPS. Can't really complain about that. And so honestly, this is the limitation we're seeing with the PlayStation 5 as well as the Xbox consoles. It's just a general next-gen limitation. It seems like the dream was 4K 60 with ray tracing, but the reality is you're going to have to choose either a lower resolution with a higher frame rate and ray tracing, or a higher resolution, a higher frame rate, no ray tracing, or what we're seeing here where it's just going to be a higher resolution and higher frame rate and limited ray tracing. So this is maybe why we could eventually see a PS5 Pro where something like this won't be an issue, where they can have full ray tracing implemented while you're playing the game at 4K 60. And so, yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's just the way it is. And then we also have more information about GT7, where apparently they're saying that the game is not dropping in any quality because it's coming to PlayStation 4. So Polyphony Digital's Kazunori Yamauchi has insisted that the studio did not have to sacrifice any quality in making Gran Turismo 7 a cross-gen release on PS4 and PS5. This was with an interview with GT Planet. Yamauchi revealed that the only major difference between each version is the loading times, which isn't a surprise, considering PS5 is equipped with an SSD. In a racing game, you can adjust the level of detail. Technology-wise, it is a very scalable game in terms of maintaining the frame rate, and everything else, we found that we were able to make a PS4 version and a PS5 version without dropping any quality, so that's why we decided to do both at the same time. The loading time is so different between the PS4 and PS5, and that's a completely different experience. That's just something that's unavoidable between the two. So in general, it sounds like the only major difference is going to be in the visuals, obviously. You know, I imagine that GT7 is going to run at a lower resolution on the PlayStation 4, but it's also going to be in the load times, which is not surprising considering the SSD. But I don't know. I've seen some people say that they don't really buy this. They want to see a GT7 that isn't tethered to a PS4. They want to see a GT7 that can just take full advantage of the PS5 and not have to be held back at all. But you know, Yamauchi is saying it's scalable and whatnot. So yeah, you guys can leave me your thoughts down below in regards to this. You know, let me know if you agree with what he's saying or not. The final topic I want to discuss before ending the video is about Sega and Atlus and how they are planning to announce a new RPG at Tokyo Game Show. Sega and Atlus, the studio behind hit JRPGs such as the Persona series and Shin Megami Tensei, will reveal a new RPG at their Tokyo Game Show presentation on October 1st, 2021. The game is currently untitled, with the presentation's description listing a new Sega RPG. Additionally, the program is set to feature new information about other Sega franchises and video games. There are several possibilities when it comes to new Sega titles. Chief among them, particularly considering the fact that Atlus will be involved, is a new Persona title, likely Persona 6. Earlier this year, Atlus opened up a new website celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Persona franchise. While the website currently only lists special anniversary merchandise, it also lists several new announcements coming soon, with the latest listed to reveal in September. The game is also reportedly recruiting new developers to work on a sequel to Persona 5. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know about this. I know that there are many of you who are big fans of the Persona series, and so there's a chance that they might announce Persona 6 at TGS. It could be something else though, so just wanted to be sure to share this info with you guys. But that does it for the video. I hope you did enjoy it. Again, I hope you did find it informative. If you did, make sure you leave it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.